in the region as well. And, among those who have been victimized this evil, who've been killed, are at least 22 American citizens. This attack was a campaign of pure cruelty, not just hate, but pure cruelty against the Jewish people.
And actually, many U.S. government services would actually be disrupted, and hundreds of thousands of federal workers were furloughed without pay if Congress fails to provide funding for the fiscal year. Now, the Social Security Administration will continue to issue retirement and disability benefits, but it will continue under the Medicare and Medicaid health programs. The Veterans Administration will continue to pay veteran benefits, but the Small Business Administration will not be able to issue any new loans, though loans for small businesses are hurting by natural disasters and will continue. Most employees of the Federal Emergency Management Agency would remain on the job, and the agency would risk losing out for funds of disaster relief and long-term recovery projects. In 2018-2019, the White House has furloughed 1,100 of its 1,800 staff in the Executive Office of the President. Some offices, such as the National Security Council, continue at full strength, while others, like the Office of Management, were scaled back sharply.
Equity markets, private markets, including private equity markets, where they're covered only by the weaker SEC disclosure rules.
The private funds total assets under management are about $26.5 trillion.
But how much was poured in last year? Do you know the number? I want to look at what's happening now.
I'm sorry, it's in the low single-digit trillions.
Well, does $4.5 trillion sound right to you?
We could get back, but it's probably in the ballpark.
Right. Okay, it's right. So do you know how much money investors put in the same time period into the public market, where they got much better protection?
What you're highlighting is there's as much activity, and in some years more activity in the private markets than the public markets.
Do you know what the number?
Yeah, any good news welcome at this point, right? Well, the news is that folks on Social Security will not have to file a tax return in order to get their federal stimulus check. Those are expected to be mailed out here within the next week or so. And the Treasury Department officials there announcing that Americans on Social Security or disability will no longer have to file taxes.
You may not know right.
Folks, we got a ton of news about the fourth stimulus check, Social Security news, SSI, and SSDI. Continue watching this video because you definitely don't want to miss out on this important stimulus check information. Action is being taken right now. Kevin McCarthy has just confirmed that a debt ceiling vote will likely happen on Tuesday, and this could save millions of Americans from huge financial changes from the federal government. Today, Kevin McCarthy announced that Congress will meet the deadline to raise the debt ceiling, acknowledging that no deal has been made by voting an agreement will be reached in time to prevent a government default. Janet Yellen raised the stakes in the marathon negotiations on Friday, when she provided the first hard deadline for when the government will be unable to pay down all of its obligations. June 5th, everybody, is a date. And asked if Congress can meet that deadline, McCarthy didn't hesitate to say yes. McCarthy vowed that he'll stick with the 72-hour rule, providing lawmakers the full 3 days to read the text of the legislation before they're asked to vote on it. McCarthy even said he's been in talks with Senate leaders about how much time they'll need to meet the June 5 deadline. And if a deal is reached tomorrow, that would set the stage for a House vote on Tuesday. McCarthy declined to name the barriers that remain as he and his deputies haggle with the White House negotiators over the last outstanding disagreements. But he said Republicans have not dropped the demand for permitting reform designed to eliminate regulatory hurdles to energy infrastructure projects. It's something Democrats have opposed for fear that it would degrade the environment at the expense of poor communities. McCarthy also confirmed that Republicans have been in discussions with Carson Sinema and moderate Democrats on particular issues. The speaker outlined the rollout of any deal and saying he would make a vague announcement that would withhold the details of any agreement to allow lawmakers to read the bill before the press and public do. Still, people all over the nation are now wondering what will happen to lawmakers if their personal finances are not met. Based on Social Security Administration payment schedules, a June 5 default might actually protect beneficiaries from the potential delayed checks and direct deposits, because individuals receiving the payments are
to expand benefits. And what this amendment says is do not cut Social Security. Now, I think a number of my Republican friends will say, well, we're not going to cut Social Security for anybody on Social Security today.
So about 16 million Americans will lose their unemployment benefits this week. Multiple lawmakers in Congress are urging the White House to send out another stimulus check of $1,000 and even $2,000 a month. Many lawmakers in Congress want President Biden to send out a fourth stimulus check very soon. There's one big issue, and it's that Democrats and Republicans can't seem to get along. They're actually holding back our stimulus check money. Who is to blame for holding back the stimulus checks, everybody? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. And before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and family.
On infrastructure, in terms of the people he's speaking to this afternoon, will one of them be Mitt Romney?
We will give readouts of who he's spoken with once we've completed those calls, but I don't have anything to preview for you at this moment.
Is this the first time that he's starting to kind of reach out to them? He's been really focusing on Capito up until now.
That's right. We've been engaged with a range of Democrats and Republicans, including members who have been in conversation through this group at a staff level. He's obviously had discussions with a number of them about how he moves his ideas forward. So I wouldn't make it as firm as a first time, but certainly discussing this as a viable path forward at his level.
So Americans living in some Republican-led states could lose their unemployment benefits this week, almost 3 months before the extra aid is slated to end. At least 25 states led by Republican governors decided in May and June to prematurely drop out of several relief programs, including those that provide an extra $300 a week, on top of regular state unemployment benefits and expanded eligibility for jobless aid. The supplemental benefits are not poised to expire until September 6th. Alaska, Iowa, and even Missouri will be the first to opt out of this, and this ends the crisis-era programs for out-of-work Americans on June 12th. The other states that are terminating benefits early include states like Georgia, Florida, and Texas. Now folks, those states will stop giving unemployed workers an extra $300 in benefits sometime over the summer. According to one estimate published by the Century Foundation, roughly 16 million Americans will lose their unemployment benefits as a result. GOP lawmakers were quick to blame the extra unemployment aid for the anemic job growth, although experts have also cited a lack of childcare and fears of contracting it for the hiring shortage. What are your thoughts on this, everybody? Are the unemployment benefits keeping people out of work? Tell me your thoughts on this in the comments below. There remains
For weeks, we have been talking about the price of gas and we've been feeling it, but some relief could be on the way. House Democrats want to give you some money to help with the sticker shock. The proposal would send an energy rebate of $100 per month to individuals or $200 for couples, plus $100 for each dependent for each month the national gas price.
So good news, the more states have finally decided to approve more financial assistance to the low income. States like Tennessee and Georgia have approved bonus payments for some residents. These payments may be worth as much as $500, but there are strict requirements that need to be met in order to qualify. And now, we can finally expect more stimulus to be sent out. The Tennessee Department of Human Services is providing extra support for families to receive cash assistance in the amount of $500. The Tennessee Department of Human Services will provide